riding his bike home late at night in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, when he saw a strange figure standing in the middle of the road. He stopped and got off the bike to see what it was, but before he could get a clear look, the figure vanished. Shocked, he stood there for a moment, trying to understand what had happened. After a moment, the same figure appeared again on the road. This time, it was dressed in white, with long black hair covering its face. Terrified, the man didn't wait any longer, left his bike there, and ran away on foot, convinced that he had just seen the witch people said haunt.
In Glasgow, UK, in the middle of the night, a woman was walking downstairs to complain that the AC wasn't working. As she was going down the stairs, a dark shadow suddenly crossed her path. There were no clear features, just a cloud-like shape of smoke. The figure paused for a brief second, then bolted as if it was rushing after her. Terrified, the woman turned and ran back to her room. With trembling hands, she packed her bags and left the hotel in the middle of the night, remembering how her friends had warned her not to stay there because people. September 2017, a strange incident took place in Canberra, Australia. Two brothers were going downstairs to go out for dinner when a dark shadow suddenly appeared in front of them and leapt toward one of the brothers. He collapsed on the ground, but his brother managed to pull him away from the shadow, and they both rushed back to their apartment in fear. The shadow lingered there for a few seconds and then vanished into thin air. Later, the brother remembered that he had once thrown pebbles into the darkness in that same stairwell and wondered if a ghost had.
It was shared on Instagram 7 years ago and left viewers stunned. It shows a blurry figure appearing out of nowhere and slowly crossing the road. What makes it even stranger is that passing vehicles drive straight through it, as if it were made of smoke and completely invisible to them. The video is too old to be called the result of AI, so what was it? A ghost? Or something even more sinister? One Saturday night in Colorado, a bizarre moment was caught on a CCTV camera at the Stanley Hotel. A woman was walking toward her room, looking at her phone, when a faux plant in the corner of the lobby suddenly fell to the ground on its own. There was no wind, and no one nearby who could drop it. Confused, she stopped, and then something even stranger happened. Her hair lifted and blew, as if a strong gust of wind had hit her from behind, yet the air around her was completely still. Sensing something paranormal, she rushed to her room, locked the door from the inside, and stayed awake in fear until morning. And at first light, she checked out of the hotel and never returned.
9 years ago, a security guard was sitting on a chair late at night in a building in Harlan, Kentucky, when something strange happened. A chair beside him suddenly moved slightly on its own. He looked around in confusion, and then the chair moved again. Terrified, he began to stand up. But as soon as he did, the chairs crashed to the floor as if pushed by something invisible. Panicking, he ran outside the building because he was sure that he was not alone there and never returned to his job. Convinced the place.
In a quiet street in Patna, India, a dog was lying calmly in the middle of the road when suddenly it sensed something we couldn't see. It stood up, fixed its gaze on something ahead, and slowly began to move away, as if something invisible was coming toward it. Then, on the footage, a dark shadow appeared. It moved like a human, but its body was made of thick, black smoke. No clear features, no face, just a cloud in the shape of a person gliding down the street. When the video was posted online, many were convinced the camera had captured a real ghost walking.
Female manager was closing up after her night shift at a costume shop in Reno, Nevada, when something bone-chilling made her heart pound. As she walked by a mannequin, its head slowly turned toward her, as if it were alive. She stopped for a moment, staring at it in shock. Then, even more disturbingly, the head suddenly jerked to the right. Terrified, she ran out of the store and decided never to return, because she began to wonder if the shop was haunted by something evil, since many cultures believe that dolls and mannequins can be possessed by spirits. A man in Casper, Wyoming, was experiencing poltergeist activity and installed a CCTV camera in his room to record it. One night, while he was sleeping, the door suddenly slammed shut with a force so strong that it shook the camera. Startled, he woke up screaming, trying to confront whatever was there, but the camera showed nothing. Terrified, he continued yelling at the unseen presence before finally escaping the room. The incident left him shaken, wondering whether a restless spirit had been haunting him that night.
Let me go!